Okay, guys, welcome. Welcome to you, Nicolai, and welcome to you, Simon. It's
Thank you.
the Portugal game just finished 5-0 with two goals for Ronaldo and Bruno assist. And England is yet to play, and I believe we have we have two more games tonight, right? Colombia is playing, and I can't even recall. We have so many teams, but we have a few more games tonight.
Panama, Croatia.
Panama. Yeah, true. Um, and five viewers so far. I think there will be a bit more, hopefully. But feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and we'll try to answer them as we go. Simon, you're kind of the talk of the town of this stream because I don't know your life rank. I think FIFA doesn't update as fast as some of our community members in the FPL do. But what was your rank before the Portugal game?
Oh, it was just below 2000 overall. So I had a brilliant match day 2 after a pretty mediocre match day 1.
Okay, and
I was one of the quite few that had Jonathan David as captain, and he had a massive haul. He did 48 points as my captain, so that helped quite a lot with the rank.
yeah, that was what an insane haul. So why did you go for just to talk a bit about match day 2 here? Why did you go with Jonathan David? Because I know we talked a lot about Inner Valencia in the chat. So what tipped the decision?
Well, first of all, the chip strategy. As I've posted on X primarily, my chip strategy was to wildcard in match day 3, which we're gonna look at very soon. And also that meant that I had to pick players with brilliant fixtures for match day 1 and match day 2, and that happened for Canada and Switzerland. They had the same fixtures, just switched around. So I basically had to choose between Brill Mbolo for Switzerland or Jonathan David. And I had a chat with a couple of, I'd say, pretty elite fantasy Premier League users, and one of them, Omar, he recommended David due to the secure minutes and due to that he had the penalties for Canada. That's why I went with him. He also fitted my budget perfectly, so that I could make my match day 1 to match day 2 transition. So he kind of fitted the team perfectly, as I've explained on X as well.
Amazing, and what a haul! What an absolutely crazy haul! 24 points. Nicolai, how you doing? You just said before the stream, before we went live, that you're closing in on Simon, so you must also have a pretty decent rank.
Yes, I'm not, as you mentioned, I'm not really sure how often they update, but I know that I have 210 points, and when I checked Simon last time, he had like 225 or 220. So points-wise, that's not a lot. I think my rank is just under 20k. I've not owned Jonathan David. I had him highly ranked before match day 1 actually, but there's just so many good picks, and yeah, it's just the variance in this game is crazy. You think Valencia is a good pick, and then he does nothing, and then David scores 24 points. So yeah, I've actually been very lucky with my defense. I have Nathaniel Brown for his mega haul in match day 1, Gallardo, Mexico, 2 clean sheets, and Goy actually got 7 points despite of his red card. So I have no mega hauls, but a lot of minor hauls.
That's also a way to slowly climb the rank. Let's just skip my team because I'm doing absolutely horrible. But but Ronaldo and Bruno
And we're
has.
so happy.
I think I used all my luck in the FPL season, but unless we get a major hole in the Colombian game, I'm gonna stay a bit quiet here. But it's I think it's wildcard time for all of us, and basically
It
because we
is.
planned from the very beginning to wildcard in match day 3, and I think the majority of engaged managers will likely wildcard. I've talked to some of my colleagues, and apparently they didn't know that you could change the caption between the games, and they also didn't know that the wildcard existed. So I think there will be a lot of variance in this match day 3. But here we go. Simon, should we look at your current draft, because I can show it,
Yeah,
or
sure.
should we? Yeah, I
Oh, well, we
think
could also like do a wildcard for your team. Well, if I have any influence on that, it may look a bit like the draft I recently posted on X a couple of hours ago. So
yeah,
shouldn't we just look at your team and we'll start from the goalkeepers?
we can do that. I can just reverse. So in goal, I've so far put Nikola Vasilic and Verbruggen so far. And that's basically because Bosnia play Qatar, who almost
Mm.
seems as bad as Curaçao. Um, and Bosnia has everything to play for. And Verbruggen is, I would reconsider him due to I would like my two goalkeepers to stay below the 5%, and I could imagine Verbruggen making quite a jump here.
Mm.
But that's kind of where I am with the goalkeepers. I want them to be below 5%. Who have you guys been looking at? And we can pull up the fantasy tool that I know all of us use. And just here, Simon, who are you looking at for your draft?
So the first, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty locked on Fofana of Ivory Coast.
Yeah,
He plays against Curaçao,
The other one,
uh, and
yeah. Sorry.
they are a terrible football team,
sorry.
and he's projected like the Ivory Coast has like 60% clean sheet chance according to FPL Joe, and he's predicted as the second highest goalkeeper on the fantasy tool. The only one projected higher is Bart Verbruggen, who may surpass the scout bonus threshold at 5% before deadline. That's I'm gonna monitor that closely, because if he doesn't have scout bonus, I'm not gonna pick Bart Verbruggen. Then I'm gonna find another goalkeeper, which
Yeah,
is a bit tough of a choice. So Fofana is a lock in my team.
yeah. But okay,
Yeah.
the reason I haven't put him in is because I might want to triple up on the outfield players for Ivory Coast. So that's the reason I have Verbruggen for now. But I could also easily see myself picking Fofana when hopefully we can get some more news about predicted lineups. But let's also make a draft here. So should we settle on Fofana or Nicolai? Do you have any other keepers we could take a look at?
I think my take would be that people should remember that you can only start one of the goalkeepers, and if we exclude the extremely lucky penalty save, then one of them will get what is it, 9, 10 points, something like that. And given that they have so high clean sheet rate, it doesn't really make a big difference. So my take would actually be when I set my own wild card to put the goalkeepers last, because I would say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 different goalkeepers who all have higher than 50% clean sheet chance. And whether you pick one of them or the other is pretty much irrelevant, especially because price is going to be, it's not going to matter at all. There is a scout bonus, of course. I would not pick a goalkeeper without scout bonus. That would be crazy, I think. I mean, for me, it could be any one of these goalkeepers.
Yeah.
So Fofana is the best, no doubt. But as long as he's not blocking any outfield players that you would want.
Yeah, I think that's a very solid point. That it's very, very likely that unless you have two goalkeepers playing at the same time, then it's very, very likely that you'll eventually get a clean sheet from either one of your goalkeepers due to the extremely high clean sheet chances. Okay, let's wait with at least one of them. In defense, I feel pretty locked on Dumfries. Attacking threat.
Before going to the outfield players, can I just say a very important note is that they're a team that they're pretty mediocre on paper, that have pretty decent fixtures, such as the Ivory Coast, such as Senegal, such as Bosnia, and so on. And you got to have like a captaincy choice from those teams, but you also got to remember to have like covered most of the groups where teams are heavily favored. So you also have to pick like an England player, an Argentine player, a Spain player, and so on, so that you can switch, so you can optimize the switch of captaincy between games. That's very important because like one group plays at all teams in one group plays at the same time, and then a few hours, then it's the next group, and so on. So you kind of optimize your captaincy choice in that way.
Yeah,
and that's also quite difficult because you also want to have like 3 players from the Ivory Coast. So it's a delicate decision.
Yeah, also another very, very good point. In my first draft, I didn't include any players from England because I wanted to see the lineup, and now we got it. So of course now we can make a more proper draft. But another really good point, yeah. There's already 3 good points in this stream. I think it might be a record. They don't come that often. Okay, so moving on to the defense now. I have Dumfries, as I was saying, attacking threat. Netherlands have everything to play for to win the group, and yeah, he's just for me, he's a no-brainer. I think he's also in your draft. I know that, Simon. Nicolai, is he also in yours?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And I just discovered something that I didn't even know. Just gonna say it now. But if you load your team with the team planner on the fantasy tool, it actually changes because it works a little differently compared to the FPL. So if you activate your wildcard, make a draft and save it, then it will show your latest live one. You can put my number in there if you want. 512412.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not sure if I have Dumfries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just like something I quickly mixed together earlier today. But yeah, that's so if you load your team and you've actually activated the wildcard, you can see how it's looking in the fantasy tool universe. But yeah, I would pick Dumfries. The problem is that he's over the scout, so yeah, he has a hard time compared to someone like Van Hecke, who's just guaranteed 9 points.
Exactly. Yeah, especially because we hope or kind of assume that we'll get a clean sheet because Tunisia have been playing so poorly. But and Van Hecke is also a set piece threat, so it's like it's also like the kind of the same discussion in FPL. Do you want the goal threat from set pieces, and now that you have the scout bonus with Van Hege as well, or are you going for the attacking wingbacks? Now that you don't have defensive contributions, I'm leaning towards Dumfries, but it's a very close call because of the scouting bonus of Van Hege.
Yeah. I think the prediction is correct. They have the same expected points, but the thing that you have to consider is who has the better potential of making a haul, because eventually we get points from 11 players, so we have 4 players that we will waste. And the probability that Dumfries gets a haul compared to Van Hege is, of course, much larger. You can look, Van Hege has like 0 goal threat, nothing predicted there, while Dumfries has a very high, probably the highest of the round, goals and assists.
Yeah. Even though they're predicted the same, for me, I would almost always also with my when I think about my rank, I would almost every time pick the player that I think has the highest potential for a haul. And yeah, I see Dumfries as the one there. So Dumfries stay. Can we? I think that's fair.
Yeah, he's a lock as well.
Yeah. Do you? I can just revert mine, but I think that would be just a little bit boring. So, do you want to bring?
I have another close lock.
Yeah.
As Simon mentioned, we need to cover all the brackets, and one of the brackets has Belgium, New Zealand, Egypt, and Iran. So you would need a Belgian player that you can swap in for captaincy. The game is in the middle of the night European time, so maybe you won't use it. But I think having a Belgian player is great, and I really like Maxim de Kuiper. He's also extremely attacking. I know Thomas had him on his fantasy team, and I think he was a little bit shocked in the Iran game because he was so attacking. He had so many chances, and I think the Iran goalkeeper probably made the save of the tournament, picking out
what
one
a
of his
crazy
shots.
save!
So if you, yeah, exactly. I wish I could do that. So he's like, for me, just a proper X Factor pick.
Yeah,
Solid
and that's
pick.
like, he's a brilliant pick. The thing is that the Belgian team has not performed as expected so far, and they play in the middle of the night European time. That means that if you're also going to have a player from Spain, which is very likely because that's the only team I want in group. I can't remember what group it is, but the group with Spain and Cape Verde and so on. I only want a Spain player, and they play like at 2 a.m. and then you have to set your alarm for 4 a.m. to see the see the Belgian lineup and probably change captaincy, and that can be fairly complicated when you have a 1 and a 2-year-old. At least in my case.
I think it's all about dedication. I think it's.
I'm a casual manager.
I think the issue for me here, I've looked at it as well. I think this is a pretty interesting discussion because I think that's the most important choice of this game week. Because the Spain players for me are not the best if we're talking completely expected value. Like you'll need to forfeit a lot of value by picking a Spain player because there's just not a lot of really good picks. I mean, Yamal, but he's also on 88 expected minutes. I think that
that's
might be
way too high.
slightly too high from my part. So who are you actually going to captain from Spain where you are thinking, what are the odds that this player is actually going to end up being my final captain? That was the tricky part for me. Yeah.
Should we settle on the Kuiper?
Yeah, he's a
I think
brilliant pick.
he'll probably
And
also
especially if
stay
we go
below.
without Spain players, we can also like only if I pick the Kuiper, I assume he starts. I probably won't set my alarm for 4 a.m. to confirm that he plays and then go to sleep again. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna presume that he starts. I also hope that I won't need to use the captaincy and swap the captaincy band around. Well, in the like on Saturday night or Friday night. I hope that I'll have a captaincy hold well before that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. But
Um,
you could pick him when you go to sleep. But
Exactly.
yeah, you would probably want to have one player paying after him that you can swap in. But that should be covered with Argentina, I guess.
Okay, let's
and
say
can I
that we
bring
haven't
in?
had any big captaincy holds. Are you guys gonna put an alarm for 4 a.m. and
Absolutely.
Yes.
check the Belgian lineup?
Yes. But you could just, if you don't have any Spain players,
Okay.
you'll just put the Kuiper as captain after can you scroll a little bit up?
Yeah.
After
Just to see the
the
previous. So you just put the Kuiper in after Senegal. So let's say you get nothing from Senegal. Then when that game ends, you put the Kuiper in and captain him, and then you check it in the morning. Would be my
yeah,
guess.
that's also my approach right now.
It's crazy that when playing the FIFA World Cup fantasy, part of the strategy is also like, when am I gonna wake up and when am I gonna set the alarm to what game? And it's it's uh, next level
It's
fantasy.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I
Can
haven't
I?
It's
set
4D
any
chess, right?
alarm at I haven't set any alarm at 2 or 3 or 5 a.m. yet. I well the well because I put the captaincy band, as you might know, on Jonathan David. And I had to make a choice between him and the Mexican defender Gallardo. They played at the same night, European time, and fortunately I chose David over Gallardo's 9 points.
That was a good one. Um, I think should we take some questions as we go along?
Sure.
Yeah. So first one is thoughts on Messi and Mbappe minutes. Um, I I feel like we could easily see a Messi rest. Um,
Agreed.
that's currently
I think it's
that's
very
currently
likely.
yeah.
80-20 for me in favor of resting and him playing 25 minutes. But
Yeah.
you are, after all, the physio, Jeppe. So
I think
you'll get to have the final say.
the reason why I favor rest pretty highly is because the turnaround here for match day 3 is shorter. And he's 38 years old, and I think it just makes sense. I mean, we could see him play like 20 minutes. That would be also be pretty normal. But I could also see him being rested. I just can't imagine that they would risk starting him against Jordan when they already secured the first place. Yeah.
No. As I see, there's 5 days between the Jordan match and the round of 32 game. There's a little bit with the time difference, but roughly 5 days. And
And what about the
with such
turnaround
an
from?
extremely old player, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's just the turnaround between round 2 and 3 is what, also 5 days, I think it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about
It's also
Mbappe?
just with him, he's had some injuries the last couple of years. So why on earth do you risk it? At the end of the day, I think the coach just asks him and then he decides what he wants because he is a captain. And I think he wants to win the World Cup. And that would mean playing 25 minutes would be great. I think Mbappe is different because they can still secure the group, so they have some kind of legitimacy playing him. It doesn't really matter if they win the group or not. The path is not easier or harder. But he's younger. He's more fit, you could say, than Messi. So I expect him to start,
Yeah,
but
and
I
he's
also
also
do not
going for the
expect him
golden
to play
boot.
90. Yeah, true.
And well, to be the all-time top scorer as well, I think Mbappe is highly motivated, and I have his expected minutes around 70, 75-ish. I think he'll be subbed around
Yeah,
then.
I don't
exactly.
see him playing. I think 90 minutes would. Yeah, I mean it depends on the game state, but we could also see a halftime sub. Do you guys think it's another question here? Do you think Amat will start versus Curacao?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
I
the
don't see
question is
why
on the
he shouldn't.
striker. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
likely
but
gonna
it's
be.
kind of annoying that sorry, it's kind of annoying that both Amat and Diomande, and they are essentially wingers, and they are classified as forwards in this game.
Yeah,
Amat is
Yeah,
a
that is
midfielder in
strange.
Fantasy Premier League, so if one of those were a midfielder, they would be definitely the definite lock in my wildcard team. One of them will probably still end in my wildcard team, but yeah,
yeah,
the
I
point
agree.
system favors midfielders in in this game.
Exactly. We'll just take one more question here. I think another interesting question is thoughts on Doku's minutes. He went back to see his
Yeah,
firstborn. His wife
Which
was
is completely
pregnant.
fair.
It's totally
yeah.
fair.
It,
Um,
but the child is born now, and I believe he's already on the way back, or
yeah,
at least he was close. So for me, he's 100% nail. He's their most important player, and I mean, if he starts, there's no fitness thing. So if he starts, it's probably like 90 or close to that. And I think it's very good that the timing meant that he could go back, and it was not a big issue. But I can't imagine anything other than now he also wants to get back in time and be ready to start. Would be my guess.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate he doesn't get the scout bonus, though.
yeah. It's I think
Yeah,
also Belgium are in a position where they almost can't risk not starting him. I mean, they really need to win, and
yeah,
as Nicolai said, he is their offensive threat. Also because it's not the Kevin De Bruyne that we know, and it's not the Lukaku that we know. It's someone completely else. He was absolutely horrible. It was insane. I mean,
yes,
but it was crazy bad.
yeah,
But guys, I think we need to move on a bit with our
Indeed,
draft here.
indeed.
Can I bring in one? Because
yeah.
if we need to
Go
kind
for
of
it.
follow the also the schedule here about Argentina, I think it's interesting to look at Otamendi. He's not highly rated on the model, but I think he's interesting. I need to see some more news, but I think he's interesting because Romero went off with a minor injury, and I think it's
Yeah,
already rumored that he'll be out. And Otamendi was the one subbed in for Romero, so I do expect him to play from start.
yeah.
And against Jordan,
I
very
agree.
likely
There's
that they'll,
absolutely no
yeah,
chance Romero plays.
yeah. And against Jordan, I mean, they should get a clean sheet. And I read someone on X also talking about how Jordan is absolutely horrible on set pieces, and Otamendi is a bit of a threat on those. So I think he's an interesting pick. He's also within the scouting polls, and I don't expect him to go above it.
Yeah, he's a brilliant pick now that
Yes, I
Romero is, if he's ruled out.
I think it's pretty certain that
yeah.
he's out.
I,
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it's certain that Otamendi starts anyway. Argentina is a team that I'm most confident in saying that they will rest pretty much every single player because they have nothing to play for and they are here to win the World Cup and they have lots of good alternatives. Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero are just, yeah, for me, they play like the best CB duo in the World Cup. So I think Otamendi is very, very secure as a starter. So I would agree on your pick, Jeppe. And I will raise his expected points before the deadline.
Perfect. I have a
Um,
suggestion for the next pick in
yeah.
defense, because I'll most definitely include 3 players of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I'll do that because we get their lineup, and I'll also do that because they play Qatar, and I'll do that because they are highly motivated because they can advance into the knockout phase. So the stars are definitely aligned for having at least 2. I'll probably go have 3 Bosnian players. They drew against Canada, and Canada smashed Qatar with 6-0. And then the question is who to pick. And for me, there are only 2 picks, and it's again just like the Dumfries between Van Hecke decision. It's between an attacking right back Dedic, or it's between a set piece threat in Katic. Katic is almost 2 meters tall, and Qatar has conceded, I think, 29 corners so far in this tournament or something. I read as that on X. I can't verify that at the moment, but
Mm.
Katic could be a really good set piece threat, and they are projected around the same points on the fantasy tool. I might even double up myself. I'm currently speculating on that.
Okay, interesting. You're thinking about going double Bosnia defense.
Well, yeah, also because you have the knowledge, you have the starting lineup, so you know that they will play. A lot of things can happen during the week from the deadline of match day 3. That's also what we saw with the France lineup. Now that I made a bet X minutes call with Tio Hernandez, that was the projected highest with the projected highest points on the fantasy tool for match day 2, but 24 hours at the deadline at least, and 24 hours later, he was. It was rumored that from L'Equipe, a French newspaper, that Digne would start, and so it happened. That's why I
But
think 3
Simon,
Bosnian players an absolute luck for me, no matter what.
yeah, sure, I totally agree. But do you want? Currently, we also have the keeper. So my question was rather, like, do you want? I don't assume you want the keeper and 2 defenders, right? You're probably looking somewhere like this guy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I really hope that the Seco starts, and I think the second keeper position next to Fofana, who I think is the best keeper choice, if Bad Verbruggen passes the scouting threshold, the second keeper spot is up for grabs. And that could be
Okay.
the Bosnian keeper, that could be the Brazilian keeper, that could be one of those teams with brilliant clean sheet percentages, such as also the Moroccan keeper, or Bunu. I think he passed the scouting threshold. It could be the Argentine keeper, it could be the Belgian keeper, it could be the Senegalese keeper, the Senegalese second choice keeper. There are many choices for that position.
Yeah. And as we talked about earlier, like you can just set your keepers as the final positions because there are so many
Yeah,
keepers that are rated high due to the high clean sheet chances. So should we in this draft include? I've just included Zego, but we'll come back to him. But should we include both Kadic and was it Dedic, right?
Yeah, you can include both, but you can also. We haven't even talked about Morocco. I think I'll either go with
Yeah, because
Hakimi or one of the scout bonus defenders of Morocco.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I think I'll just go with
I
Dedic
think
right now.
Hakimi is a. Sorry.
No, it's good.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll just say that Hakimi is just like exactly the same conversation as De Kuyper and Dumfries. The expected point is not very high because he can't get scout bonus, which massacres his expected point. But he's also extremely likely defender haul. So I think if you have Dumfries, De Kuyper, and Hakimi, you have the three most likely to get a haul in the defense. And I really think that makes a lot of sense. And then the two last spots, you can pick some scout bonus merchants, so you have some like backup, like Conan or a Dedic or Otamendi. I'm assuming he's also a scout bonus. Good.
Yeah. Okay, I totally agree. I like this defense so far. We have some mega hauls in Hakimi, De Kuyper, and Dumfries, potential mega hauls. And then we got two guys within the scouting bonus, and we also is kind of trying to fit one player at least from each group so far, right? We have Argentinian player,
Or
and we
each
have
interesting group at least.
yeah. Okay, let's move on to the midfielders.
Yeah, I think we have got some questions in the chat. You're the master of the chat, Jeppe.
Okay, I'll just go through. I see we have a comment from our friend FPL Bronx.
I can answer one of them with a Cherky. I think France's minutes is extremely difficult. We know Norway is going to rotate. Their head coach, Ståle Solbakken, told us. I think France will also rotate. I'm just extremely unsure who they will rotate. Mbappe will play, but which one of the others? I think Cherky is, I agree, he's a very likely starter. And given that you have bench players, I can see why you would put him in there, especially if he's playing against the Norwegian second team. I just think, for me personally, what has worked best this tournament is to target the terrible teams. And Norway is not a terrible team. So even though I think Czechia starts, I would still probably favor targeting the horrible teams instead.
Yeah, and FPL tactician or Andy Martin would be proud of you in the process.
Yes, and that's very important to me.
Okay, now that O'Reilly has been benched versus Ghana, it makes me tempted to go for him against Panama, but still risky. If not him, then a De Kuyper or Mushuaku from Congo. Interesting. Okay. Haven't looked into him.
I agree with that one, but it's a lot of buts and ifs. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, and that's exactly the problem, because in the draft I posted on X a couple of hours ago, there was also a question on that if that's my current draft, and the short answer is yes, because I've been at like a Danish summer celebration event just before arriving at the stream, just like Nicolai has, by the way, I think, by the way. But the thing is that I expected Nico O'Reilly to play in this game, and then Jet Spence would be a lock in my team, because they would like almost 100% rotate and play him against Panama. But now that Jet Spence actually plays this game in a couple of minutes, it's really difficult to predict tomorrow evening at the deadline which of the two left backs will play.
Yeah.
If we say that Jet Spence plays a super game and England plays very well, keeps a clean sheet, then I would be very tempted to buy O'Reilly. But it has to be that scenario. If Jet Spence plays a mediocre game, then it becomes like a coin toss, and you have no idea which one of them will play. So it needs to be something very clear cut, like probably the manager saying, you know what, I'll play Nico O'Reilly in the next week. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's just
we had another. Yeah, I think you commented on that shortly. Yep, that one of the question was on was actually one of our listeners saying that Masuaku, he from Congo, he's bombing on the flank and also takes corners for Congo, and they play Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan they played really poorly today. I think that Congo are heavy favorites, and I also think that Johan Visa and also Masuaku they are brilliant picks. Although we like the fans tool needs to update and adapt to what has happened with Uzbekistan this evening.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just one quick comment
Yeah.
with regards to the expected points. So, like a week ago, the Uzbekistan match was very even with no clear favorite. But when I looked at the odds just before the stream, Congo was actually 185 favorites. So the model does not really reflect that yet because this run is from like 3 hours ago or something. So I actually expect that when I update it with the latest values, then there's going to be some really, really cool Congo picks that you can make, like Masuku. Sorry for the pronunciation.
Yeah,
It was spot on. I'm sure it was spot on.
yeah.
I'm sure it was not.
Okay, let's move on with the draft here. Midfielders, any locks for you, Guy? Is our friend Ismail Saibari, is he a lock?
Close to a lock,
I think
I feel.
Diaz is more of luck, but Diaz has the
Interesting.
penalties. I'm quite certain, which makes
Over
a big difference. And he's
Saibari.
just extreme. Yeah, I think so. I can check
Diaz is
while you
Diaz is on penalties, yeah.
talk.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Diaz is also within the scouting bonus,
Yeah,
actually. I just see that now. But he should, I mean, he's at
is
4.1% now. I mean,
oof,
we could easily see
ooh,
him go above. He's at
Yeah, and he's
4.2.
been gradually increasing
yeah. It's
in ownership. He was
because
like
he's
at
a guy.
3 point something yesterday.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah. What about Saibari? I have absolutely no idea. I'm assuming he's lower because
No, he's higher.
people know Brahim Diaz. Sure. What? Yeah,
Yeah.
then it makes sense. Then I would much rather have Diaz, to be honest. But if they both go over, it's gonna be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
he passed the scout bonus threshold, I'll have Saibari plays as the number 9, I think, still.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would go for Saibari in that case over Diaz.
Yes.
Yeah. But interesting. Okay. Let's okay, so what do we conclude here? Do we conclude that if Diaz
I keep
stays below
forgetting that people
5%?
buy players who score goals.
Yeah. That is kind of the point with the game, though.
Yeah, but put Diaz
Yeah,
in
you're right.
our
You
in
shouldn't
Jeppes
blame people
wildcard
for
draft.
buying. Yeah, I mean, for me, Diaz and Saibari are fantastic picks, no matter if they're in the scout bonus or not. They play horrible. Oh no, Haiti is not that horrible compared to Qatar, but they're still horrible. And Morocco actually needs to win this game, and their coach has already said that he's going to play the best 11 with some cryptic extra comments. But these two are very dangerous. They create all the chances and finish all the chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon, do you have another interesting pick?
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna have a Brazilian player as well. I know that they
I'm
play at the same time as Morocco, and I think Vini Jr. is the most obvious pick, of course. The thing is that I'm not sure who takes the penalties or the penalty pecking order for Brazil. They're also in a kind of must win or must get points game. And I'm currently looking at Vinicius Jr. or Paquetá. Paquetá, he's not performed that well points wise in this game so far. He has 11 points, that's decent, but he'll definitely get scout bonus. And I saw a post or reply to one of my posts on X where most people actually think that Paquetá is over Vini Jr. in the Brazilian penalty pecking order, but that's just an educated guess as of right now. So Paquetá or Vini Jr. and I like Paquetá's lower ownership. I'm very tempted to go there actually.
Yeah. Can you just go quickly back to the predictions, Jeppe? Just feel like I should comment since I'm the one doing them. So you can see Vinicius, he has a higher expected minutes, he has higher expected goals, and higher expected assists, and still he ends up on lower expected points, which is 100% down to the scouting bonus. It's just to show how much this influence. And
Yeah.
Scotland
Can you
is a pretty
show the
decent
scouting
defensively
bonus,
team.
Jeppe? Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's 1.1. In a matchup like this, where Brazil is not expected to win this game 5-0, they expected to win it 1 or 2-0. And in a low-scoring game like that, the scout bonus just becomes, a good. It's a big portion of the players' points.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I triple checked the predictions, and I think they are pretty solid.
Perfect.
So I think it's more interesting to go. Let's say it's like a 50-50 for the penalty for Brazil, um, or of course, like if we somehow figure out or know that Paquetá is on penalties, then I definitely have Paquetá rated higher than Vinicius, for sure, because he'll also stay below the 5%. Super tasty pick. Let's add him for now, and we can always get back to it. We do already have a Belgian player in defense, but have you guys looked at any Belgian players in the midfield?
Yeah, so there are
I had the
3.
same as you, Trossard, but yeah. Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, there are 3 picks that you can choose from. You can choose De Bruyne, you can choose Trossard, and you can choose Doku. Doku has secure minutes and should play on, I think, the right wing. And De Bruyne probably has penalties when Lukaku is not on the pitch, which is very likely that Lukaku isn't after that stinker of a performance against, I think it was Iran. And then you have Trossard, who plays left wing, but has the scouting bonus. And then I think I messaged with Belgian who plays this fantasy game, and he was like, don't pick any of our players. Only do that if you think that New Zealand are horrible, and New Zealand are somewhat horrible, at least in these World Cup standards, because they actually lost their last pre-World Cup friendly 4-0 to Haiti. So yeah, so Belgium should definitely win this match, but I'm not really convinced by any of them right now.
So I want to bring in something here. I have been looking at, of course, Trossard, and Doku is not interesting for me because he's not within the scouting bonus, and but he is he should be super nailed to start. But I have been looking at I don't know how to pronounce his name. De
The
Ketelaere.
Kitla.
De Ketelaere.
I spent a month in Belgium in
Okay.
2024, so
Okay.
I can't pronounce
Say it again.
anything.
Say it again.
The Kitla.
De
Never.
Ketelaere. Okay. Fuck, that's good. Okay, so the Ketela, I did a few minutes of research on him, and apparently he wasn't fit in the last game, which is why they played Lukaku. Maybe Lukaku had a generational stinker that we will remember for years to come. And the Ketela has been pictured. He did participate in training today, of what I could read,
Oh,
which is very interesting. I'm pretty sure I read that. And I mean, then the question becomes, if he wasn't fit in the last game, then how is his expected minutes looking? If he starts, then it's maybe only 60 or 70 minutes. But I think he's super interesting because he might
indeed.
play, instead of
Yeah.
Lukaku, right?
Yeah, but I
Um,
think the minutes are too
yeah,
insecure for him. I probably won't go there myself. But
yeah,
now in 5 minutes we're gonna compete with the England match. So I'm gonna reveal what's a player that's most definitely going on my final team. I'll of course update my final team on X tomorrow. I need to see the Bosnia lineups, and I also have a couple of RL stuff that I need to solve. So it will probably be out half an hour before the deadline. But this player that is almost securely ending locked in my team right now is because now we have the England lineup and we have Anthony Gordon playing left wing. I think that Marcus Rashford, he has pushed for a start. I could read in English media he is definitely going to start, and he's definitely going to play the whole match against Panama, and that also solves the problem getting a player from the England group into the team. So he is almost a lock in my team if nothing strange happens and England lose this match against Ghana or something. If they are pretty secure to win the group, if if they win against Ghana, I think I'll go for Marcus Rashford most definitely, and with I think he gets scout bonus as well.
yeah, he does. He's at 2.7%. Let's add
Perfect.
him and let's speed up a bit because, as you said, we are soon competing with the England match. Um, um, Another midfielder. Um,
I think you should just add DS from Morocco.
Together with.
Having both. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't choose between them right now. I need to do a bit further research before making my decision.
Okay.
And they could easily both go into my team. I
I
have a
can also
suggestion
add.
for the last player.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
So Senegal, they face Iraq, and Sadio Mane is classified as a midfielder. He gets
Yeah.
scouting bonus. He's projected highly on the fantasy tool. So I think he'll definitely rise in ownership for in the next 24 hours. But he should be below the scouting bonus threshold. And well, if the website functions correctly, which wasn't exactly the case for the deadline of match day 2, where there was some weird stuff going around with the ownership live tracking. But he's a very good pick, and also to get some Senegal coverage, he should also be on pens, I think.
Yeah. I think so too. I'm pretty sure. I also had him in my draft before. I think he's a very, very good pick, especially if he stays below the scouting bonus. Can I add one that I also have as pretty locked on my draft?
Sure.
It's Cody Gakpo.
Yeah.
Even though
No
he's
doubt.
not within the scouting bonus, I think he's a brilliant pick. He's on pens and they play Tunisia, and I think Tunisia seems like. Sorry if there's any, anyone cheering for Tunisia, but it seems like a madhouse currently. I mean, if you fire your coach during the
Yeah.
World Cup after one game, what an absolute cinema. And the players have now, I read an interview with a player, and the players are like, yeah, it's crazy. And then a new guy comes in with his staff, and then they rotate 15 players or some shit. I mean, the management from Tunisia is unbelievable, and I think that's super tasty for from a manager perspective. So Cody Gakpo is for me 100% nailed. He could be owned by 90%, and I would still pick him.
Agreed.
It's also one of the biggest hole potentials because I think Netherlands is a kind of team that they are the fans always get on their back and criticize them. So I mean, I think they'll want to score many goals and kind of incite the population and show them that they're good. And I think we're also likely in a goal difference scenario here because if the
Yeah.
Netherlands win and Japan wins, then they both have 7 points and they are tied on the tiebreaker. So I assume that whoever scores the most goals will progress.
Yeah. So they're gonna trash
So yeah,
Tunisia to get
I,
that
I
number
really
one
like him.
spot in their group.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Tunisia might have a new head coach.
For match
yeah.
day 3, so they have a new coach for each
Yes.
game, and then they leave the World Cup.
It's a world
Would be
record.
brilliant.
It's a world record. But would
Yeah.
that be so the third spot for a striker?
Yeah,
We all believe
and that's
that
really up for grabs.
yeah, we all believe that Netherlands will trash Tunisia. Like, are any of you considering doubling up on Netherlands attack, or do you want to spread out maybe for some Ivory Coast, or because we have a guy called Brubby.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think my problem is that at least when I updated the predictions, because he was predicted a little too low, a new must-have arrived for me, which is the guy in the second line at the top from Senegal. I think it's a little bit strange that he's a forward, and I'm not sure if my eyes are deceiving him if he's actually owned by 0.6%. But Ismail Assar has had an absolute fantastic season for Crystal Palace. He's an amazing footballer. He scored 2 goals against Norway. Uh, I cannot understand why he's not owned by a lot more people. I think he's extremely good value. And
The
I
issue
mean,
for
I guess
me,
he can't rise to 5% in one day. Yeah,
yeah, the issue for me is that he's playing as a winger in his club, and as far as I'm concerned, also for Senegal, because they have Nicholas Jackson as the number
yeah,
9, and they are both classified as forwards. So I'm almost allergic to pick a winger in one of my 3 forward spots. But it should, if
but
it
I
should
can tell you
only
that he
be
has
for,
best data of all of them.
yeah, and he also have brilliant data in Crystal Palace, and I also owned him in FPL. I know all of that, but I hate picking
Yeah,
a non-number 9 in the forward spot. I will. The only exceptions that should be either
that's
Sa
fair.
or one of the 2 Ivory Coast players, Diomande or Ahmad.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I could back that up. He's not a. So I remember his goal share when I model him is like 21%, which is quite good. But it's not like Holland, who's 50%, or Messi, who's maybe more than 50%.
Or Valencia of Ecuador.
Or Valencia of Ecuador. So, or like a Dzeko that we have from Bosnia there. So that is a good point from Simon.
Is Ismail Assar, is he on penalties as well?
No, I
No,
think
that's Mane, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, true. Yeah, I forgot. What about Julian Alvarez? We like people asking about him in the chat, and we must assume that he starts and plays the
Love
last
him.
game. Yeah, he was subbed in with 25 minutes to go. He might be on pens if Messi is out. Maybe not. I don't know, but there is a chance. He also seems like a really good pick.
Yeah. I think it's him or McAllister, but McAllister is likely not on the field. I think he's one of the guys that gets the rest. So I think he's like an extremely high upside player. The problem is that it's the last game, so you have to kind of start him and then hope he does something. But I just cannot see a world where he doesn't start. He's a fantastic footballer. They need him later in the tournament. This is the moment that you get him started. It would make absolutely no sense for me if he didn't start this game.
Yeah, so he fits many purposes. He's your Argentina coverage, as Nicolai said that they play well for that group matches. The only other Argentinian player I would consider that would be Nico Paz, the guy who plays for Como in Italy, but he's classified as a midfielder. So I'll choose between one of those two, depending on what I can catch of rumors and predicted lineups and the fancy tool projected points. A blend of all of that, I'll choose one of those two, I think, from Argentina.
Honestly, I'm a
Mendy.
bit.
I need Argentina coverage.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a bit nervous about picking offensive Argentinian players. It's super interesting to see when Messi on the field. It's every pass, like they constantly look for Messi, which is because he's the best. So it's very, very interesting to see how they'll do without him. There's no doubt that Alvarez is a brilliant player and passes well, and they have gifted players. But I feel more calm about my Argentinian cover being a defender in this case, because I expect Messi not to play. And I do think there are better picks than Alvarez due to the scouting bonus and due to some other fixtures. So I feel more calm with picking a defender. That's my take, at least.
Yeah. I also have Diomande higher. And Malzar.
There's a comment
it's for
from
me between Sa and Diomande.
There's a comment from from Simon Gabriel in the chat, who says Otamendi has taken pens when Messi's off the pitch at times for Argentina. Makes him a very nice pick too. That would be crazy, though. That would be crazy.
Yeah. I know. There's a very famous clip where Argentina gets a penalty, and it's Otamendi's last game or something like that, which is weird because he's still playing, but maybe he retired and came back. But Messi gifted him a penalty when Messi was on the field, and he scored it.
Okay.
So he has scored a penalty for Argentina. But I think it was just a gift from Messi. I don't necessarily think he's the second penalty taker.
That would be...
Yeah, and Alvarez surely takes Jack notes in the chat, so I don't know if it's sarcasm or not.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
it's a very good video. I'll anyone go and watch it. he can't believe it, Otamendi, when Messi gives him the ball. He's like, no, you're Messi, you take the penalty. And he says, no, you take it. And then he takes it and scores it. But yeah,
Amazing.
as Jack says, I'll put a lot of my money on Alvarez taking the penalty.
Yeah.
Um,
To finalize our draft, I suggest Diomande and then go for Verbruggen in the last goalkeeper spot or the second goalkeeper spot, and then you have a really good team that, well, where you have a captaincy choice for most of the interesting groups. You have triple Dutch, you have 2 Bosnian players. That's a bit too low for me, but we have to agree, and that's completely fine. We have 3 Morocco players. We have a differential Brazil player. I think it's overall a very good wildcard draft.
I mean, it's such a good draft that I'm starting to like it a bit more than my own, so I might just save this. What I would think about is owning both Saibari and Diaz. And then the pick Diomande, I don't think he'll play 90 minutes. I think he's, but it's such a good matchup. But I really think this draft is super tasty on many ways because you can change the captaincy beautifully. You have a lot of scouting bonus. It's a bit of a differential picks because a lot of people will still go with Vinicius instead of Paquetá. And you have a lot of players with a very high ceiling. So I think it's super tasty. I'm just gonna save it. Confirm transfers, yes,
Nice.
please.
Yeah, please show the ownership of the players. I think like 10 or something on scout bonus.
Yeah, so
To go.
Verbruggen currently in
Yeah,
scouting
but you can
bonus.
go to the next fixture. I pointed
Sorry,
the screen,
yeah.
and then you can. Here we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Hakimi. Gakpo is just 5.6%. Yeah. I think if you get an intel that Robbie is starting for sure, then I could see a world where he plays Robbie instead of Gakpo. But it's that one's a little bit tricky. I'm pretty sure Gakpo has to be on penalties, right? I didn't check
He
it,
is.
but
He is,
I
yeah.
assume that he would be.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's maybe 1 or 2 questions at most, and then let's call it a stream. What about Mbappé instead of Zeko?
Someone mentioned
we haven't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, we just haven't talked about Edin Zeko. And someone asked about what about Mbappé instead of Zeko. And I just think Edin Zeko against Qatar is a super tasty pick. I mean,
it's just a fixtures over. Yeah, and we all agree that Mbappé doesn't necessarily play 90 minutes, and then I know that this World Cup have proven otherwise so far, but we can't guarantee that the big stars will score 2 goals every single game. I think it would be a little bit unlikely that they can keep that streak going. If they can, then Mbappé will end up on 16 goals and Messi will have 17 goals. That would be cool, but I still think honestly, I think Edin Dzeko scores more points with the scout bonus than Mbappé does against Norway. It's just logical because they are much bigger favorites, and they have a good. They need to win the game. There was just one thing I wanted to mention. We spoke about Congo, and someone mentioned Visa, and Visa is actually quite a good pick because he's the only one in that spot.
I'm really Visa curious.
Yeah,
like they have everything
Colombia,
to play
Portugal.
for.
There's no interesting player there.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, Nicolai.
The only issue,
just really hooked on Visa right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicolai. He says a brilliant pick, and
It's
he
just
might
that-
end up on my team.
Fucking hell, guys.
The
Just
issue for you-
one of you keep quiet.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that you need to get up in the middle of the night, Simon, and make the swap. That's the only issue.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
And that's it.
that's it. There were some issues with the connection, that's for sure. But I think it was a fairly good stream with a lot of good points. And thank you all for watching. You can follow both, all of us on X, and we always post our team before the deadline. So you can find any of our team there. And I guess thank you for watching, and leave a comment, and remember to subscribe. And what else is it that YouTubers say? Something like that, right? The tool
Let's go
we've
watch
been
the England match.
the tool we've been using is the fantasy tool, which is the prediction model that all of us three use, that Nicolai created. Which just gives you a very, very nice overview of the players with the highest expected points. You can find that on thefantasytool.com. I'll also link it in the description. And the viewers are dropping fast now. So let's end this. Thank you guys for spending more than an hour with me again. And see you soon, I guess.